Scott Ballard Show here on the Warrior Sports Network. I'm Grant Wall, joined by Winona State head women's basketball coach Scott Ballard. And Coach, not the greatest weekend for you. 2 losses against University of U-Mary and Minot State, but 2 games that the Warriors were in and really put together a good effort, especially on the defensive end.
Well, right now we're ranked 9th nationally on defense, and you consider the fact that we're without our top 2 point guards, and lost Tessa halfway through practice on Thursday. Connor hasn't played point hardly at all this year. Stepped in, did a remarkable job considering she only had a half of practice to get used to the idea that she was going to be starting at the point. I'm really proud of our group for how hard we played in both games and competed and gave ourselves a chance to win. It just almost sometimes doesn't feel fair that we put so much time and effort and energy into both games and had a chance to win, but needed to make one more play defensively or one more play on offense to win the game, and we're unable to do that. I really feel like fatigue, it catches up with you late in the game. We had 3 players that played 80-plus minutes this weekend. We're just lacking depth because of the injuries, and it makes it a huge challenge. Saturday night's game, we can look back and see 2 or 3 possessions during the course of the game offensively where we got nonchalant with the basketball, let somebody punch it away, and they get a run out for an easy 2, or made a very lackadaisical pass to a high post and let them punch it away and get a run out. Then the last possession of the game, we needed to use the entire shot clock so that even if we didn't score, that they would have very little time to work with to go the length of the floor. And that came back to haunt us. And of course, we were hoping for, the no call at the end on the block shot. But when we get ourselves in that position, we've got to make better use of the clock, because when you're ahead late in the game like that inside the last minute, and you have the ball, the clock is your friend. Mm-hmm. It's not your enemy. And live and learn. I mean, we picked the right play, and if we went all the way through it, we end up with Connor and Abby on the same side of the floor with the clock running down. And Connor, we wasted a tremendous performance on her part Saturday night with 27 points. Connor's been playing well for the last 3 weeks. It started before Christmas break, and this gives her a lot of confidence, and her role may be changing because of the injury to Tessa in terms of not only how many minutes she plays, but what position she plays. So we're just trying to go with the flow and make adjustments as we have to based on matchups and style of play. There's not any easy games in our league, and when you're only putting 60 points a game up on the board, your margin of error is just really, really small. And I'm proud of the character and the toughness that our group has shown, and their commitment to put in extra time and shooting and individual workouts. It's just frustrating that we walked away with no reward from this past weekend, even though we felt like we basically outplayed both teams. Mm-hmm. So, it's the way it goes sometimes. You can't feel sorry for yourself. Nobody else is going to feel sorry for you. And you just got to bounce back.
Absolutely. Now that these are in the rearview mirror, they really become lessons for the team. Mm-hmm. So what are what's one thing that you want this team to learn from this past weekend?
Well, one is being smarter with the clock and listening to what we tell them in timeouts, mm-hmm. and doing that. There's a time to be aggressive and a time to be smart. And we kind of crossed that line in Saturday night's game. But I feel like in this past weekend, we've seen a big improvement in Connor Nagel. We've seen a big improvement in Kate Hartman, Katie Zepsic, and Emily Passant. Mm-hmm. And that's very encouraging because those are people that we've not been getting a lot of consistent production from. and now they're giving us a lot more quality minutes, which is going to do nothing but help their confidence and help our depth situation. And hopefully in the next week or two we can get Tessa back and Callie Hackman. But as of right now, they're still not in the picture. So we're not dealing with a full deck, but they're not going to change the schedule for us. So we're doing a good job controlling tempo, and we played against two of the top big kids in the league this past weekend, and did a really good job team defense wise on both of them, and held them way below their average. Friday night's game, we turned loose a 3-point shooter that had her best game of the year, and tied the game end of regulation, and then hit a 3 to start overtime. But when you get fatigued, sometimes your concentration will not be as sharp. Your decision making, sometimes some of your passes won't be as sharp, and obviously it'll affect your legs shooting wise.
Yeah.
But we competed against two really big physical teams, and held our own and went nose to nose.
Absolutely.
We just came up one bucket short on the scoreboard, and it's hard to believe that over the course of 40 minutes it comes down to one possession. But that's why we emphasize to our team, play every possession like it's the one that makes a difference in the game, because when the dust clears, you look back and it's like, darn it,
that's the one that
I let that unforced error cost us.
Absolutely.
So we're going through some growing pains, but I see some people getting better, and it's a process. Sometimes it doesn't happen as quick as we want it to, but as long as you keep working hard and you keep making adjustments and learning from mistakes and staying positive, it'll pay off in the end.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to look forward to this upcoming weekend schedule later in the week when we sit back down with Coach Ballard.